Okay guys, so in this video we're going to talk more about Aurora Cannabis. So I just posted a video on Aurora Cannabis talking about the whole dilution situation, and I received some questions, guys. So what I'm going to start doing with a lot of these videos now is I'm going to start reading your questions on the video and answering them to the best, because I think that this is one of the best ways that I can help you guys figure out exactly what you want to do with your portfolios when you're holding a certain position. So let's get to the question about Aurora Cannabis. So this question was posted by Kathy, and she wrote, I bought 1,700 shares of Aurora Cannabis at $3.90 in October. Can't decide if I should sell now and take my small profit or stay in it for a while longer and hope it doesn't go down below what it paid for low. Okay, so thank you so much for your question, Kathy. I'm going to do my best to answer it. So the previous video I was just talking about dilution, but now you're kind of wondering, should I sell now and take a small profit, or should I hold on to the future? And 1,700 shares, that's quite a substantial position. That's a nice stake in the stock. If the stock continues to do well in the future, you're going to be really happy. But before I get in and answer this question, guys, I want to give you guys, if you guys enjoy this new format, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps. So let's get into the answer. So really what's going on with Aurora Cannabis is that, let's take a look at the stock price. Let's go back to Robinhood. So this is basically the stock chart over the year, and the stock is down 83%. So a lot of other stocks, a lot of other industries are doing much better. You've got electric car stocks, as for one, has been some of the hotter, renewable energy. So that's where most of the money is going, and the money is kind of drifted away from cannabis and marijuana stocks, and it's drifted into renewable energy stocks. So what I would say is this really depends on your situation. Saying that you bought the shares under $4, you're just up around, I would say, maybe 50 to 60%. So if you really need the money, like if you're in an emergency, like if you need the money for an emergency, or you're experiencing job loss or something like that, then obviously you're going to need to sell some of those shares to generate money. But if you do not need the money, I would recommend holding on to the shares, and here's why. So the first reason is that if you take a look at Aurora Cannabis's revenue, right? So what I do at this really great site, guys, called Macro Trends. So this tracks the revenue from companies from a long-term mindset. The problem with quarterly reports is it only reports revenue year over year. So for example, if it's like a Q3 or report, they'll talk about how much money they made in the last 3 months, and then they'll compare that to the previous year. But it doesn't give you a holistic view of how the company's doing over the long run, because long run is what's going to move stock prices very high. That's what we saw with Tesla. Tesla had been making money for a very long time. So as we can see here, there's a couple of hiccups in revenue for Aurora Cannabis, but the majority of these hiccups have been caused by the pandemic. And as you can see, before the pandemic, revenue had been rising. And the reason why Aurora has been struggling is simply because lockdown measures are very bad for marijuana companies. Most people probably do not buy the majority of their marijuana and cannabis online. In Canada, especially, people go to dispensaries. And if you guys have been following the news, there was a huge rush for people stockpiling cannabis before the lockdowns back in March. So that was one of the reasons why Aurora had such a huge quarter. So if we take a look at holistic view at the revenue, the company has done an amazing job of kind of maintaining revenue during the pandemic. So as you can see here, back in 2017, this company was only making $14 million. And then, as of 2020, they're doing $200 million. So in the short run, there's been some hiccups because of the pandemic, but over the long run, they've seen a substantial growth in revenue. So once things kind of revert back to normal on, some level, once there's a vaccine, you're going to see that revenue continue to grow. The cannabis market, the marijuana market is surely to grow. 4 U.S. states have already kind of legalized it. And with the Biden presidency, there are going to be more obviously more U.S. states to legalize. But I want to also talk about another segment that isn't really being hurt as much by the whole lockdown, people staying in measures. It's the CBD market. So CBD oil is a revolutionary thing. And as you can see, this was posted, PR Newswire. It says Reliva CBD emerges as #1 best-selling U.S. retail CBD company. So Aurora Cannabis ended up purchasing this company. And, as of according to the website, they're the #1 brand in the United States. And if you see here, it says 7% of American adults report using CBD, and that number is rising quickly. CBD sales in 2018 are around 602 billion. By 2025, they're projected to be 16 billion. So you're going to see a massive growth in not only just recreational and medicinal cannabis, but you're going to see a massive growth in CBD oil. And I've seen it myself. A lot of people are selling CBD oil either through their own website, through Amazon. So this is a new thing, and more people are going to catch on. CBD oil is awesome for relieving pain and things like that. Lots of athletes turn to it, and lots of senior citizens are going to find that there's other uses for cannabis other than smoking. So if you take a look at the website really quickly, if you go to Relieva CBD, you can see that they have their own e-commerce store. This store is going to drive a lot of revenue. So when you own Aurora Cannabis, you're not just owning a medicinal and recreational use company. It's like owning this e-commerce website as well. So if they're the #1 brand and sales are projected to grow to 16 billion, obviously they're going to make a lot more money. So wrapping things up, what would I do? Personally, I believe in holding on to stocks if you don't need the money. My recommendation with Aurora Cannabis would be, if you really don't need the money, hold on to the shares. Matter of fact, you could even add at this level. But one of the worst things I think you can do is sell a stock based on emotion. I've made this mistake time and time again. I did the same thing when I sold Neo too early. I've done it in the past, and 3 to 6 months, a lot can change. So, if these pandemic orders are kind of lifted and Aurora Cannabis is able to kind of revive that medicinal recreational market with the CBD oil growing, you're going to see massive, massive growth in revenue, and that's going to lift Aurora's Cannabis. So I would say, if you don't need the money, if you have an emergency fund set up of at least, a couple $1,000 to pay for your expenses in case of an emergency or a job loss or something like that, and you're just trading this portfolio, you're trying to grow it, I would say hold on to your shares. Me, personally, I'm going to be buying Aurora Cannabis again at this level. I really like the fact that most of the money is heading in towards renewable energy, and people are kind of ignoring the cannabis market. The cannabis market has been absolutely crushed by the pandemic, but once people start going out again, and once a lot of these kind of government issued lockdowns are lifted, you're going to see an explosion in cannabis revenue. And the good thing about this is that a lot of these stocks are beaten down so much, there's huge upside. So for Aurora Cannabis in particular, the stock is under $1 billion in market cap. So $16 billion CBD market, I would say definitely Aurora Cannabis is definitely not a sell, it's a hold, but it's going to be a long-term hold because of the, kind of the headwinds that we're dealing with right now. So what I would say is, me personally, I'm going to be adding more to my position. 1,700 shares is a nice position. So Kathy, I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability. So like I said, guys, if you have any more questions about any stocks in particular, just leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer your question with the video, because I think that a lot of other people are in your position. In fact, I read another commenter, they were holding a relatively similar position as 1,700 shares as you were. So hopefully you guys can hold on to this. You're going to see some massive gains in the future. CBD oil, the cannabis, these markets will definitely come back roaring. It's just a tough time now due to the whole pandemic situation. So that's it for now, guys. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this format, please smash the red subscribe button. Subscribe. I'm going to be answering more of your questions, going through comments, interacting with you guys, and doing my best to help you guys make some important portfolio decisions to make you lots of money in the future. So that's until next time, guys. Take care.